It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero. Guess what? We back. I know you missed us last week. And I know I'm talking really fast. It's just that I'm excited to be back in action talking to y'all. What's up, AKA?
What's cracking?
We back in the building. You didn't get that little screech this time, huh?
Yeah, the little broke voice. I kind of did though. I don't know.
It's all good. Getting better. But anyways, we back. I know you missed us last week. It was President's Day weekend, and I actually was out of town enjoying a little bit of Vegas. And, on a President's Day weekend, a little extra vacation, so I was a little absent. You didn't see much on the Instagram. You didn't see much going on, but hey, I did have a blast, and everybody needs a refresher from time to time, but we back. AKA, you ready to talk some pop culture?
Yeah, let's get it.
I think it's in March where these next couple of Marvel shows are going to start up. So we have a little break on the reviews. Unless do you watch Snowfall?
Nah, I don't watch Snowfall.
Okay,
I think I watched like 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes.
That shit starts tomorrow, the new season. So, but basically we can just do our pop culture thing, and we're trying to get more anime kumites out there because I did see that was really popular on our YouTube page. It got a lot of views in the last video. So we're back in action. All that wishy-washy talk, let's just leave it behind. I'll stuff those sorries in a sack, and we're gonna move forward. You know what I'm saying? Starting with some pop culture. Where do you want to start? You got any topics you want to start with? I should kind of just catch some sports updates because there was some stuff. We got topics that happened the last couple of weeks, some stuff we wanted to talk about last week, but we didn't really get to it. But let's just start with this update with the NBA. Last weekend, I don't know if you caught it, or this past weekend, the NBA All-Star Weekend in Cleveland. I don't know if you caught it. You seen it in All-Star Weekend?
No.
It's usually not the biggest event like the Pro Bowl and the All-Star Game. They're not as big as they used to be because a lot of players don't really participate. They don't play too hard, and people kind of notice now. So they kind of threw a little bit of gimmicks in the last couple of years All-Star Game to get people kind of interested. In the big All-Star Game itself, they did a draft basically where whoever got the most votes in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference got to pick their teams based on the other all-star people that got voted on and shit like that. So that spices it up a little bit. It's kind of like backyard basketball when you get to pick your teams, and it's kind of live and it's like its own little show. So egos get tested there and it's a fun time. But ultimately in the game, they don't play too hard. You know what I mean? So they put incentives in the game to make the players actually play harder. Each quarter they started over the score. They would go to they would have a time limit on each quarter, and they would just start over the score and play to a total score. So each quarter, whoever won the quarter, they won $100,000 for their charity.
Oh.
So at the end of each quarter, they started it over to give the other team, a chance to win another $100,000 for that charity. And I went through all the way through the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, it was the first team to get to 163. You know what I mean? And then it was a good game up until that point, and LeBron James ended up hitting the last shot. It was a big deal for LeBron James. He was like a really big celebrity. Well, he's already a big celebrity, but it was in Cleveland. So it was kind of like a homecoming for him. He was talking about how he's leaving the door open. He might go back to Cleveland, and he wants to play in Cleveland with his son, or he wants to play basketball with his son before he retires. So, it could be Cleveland. He never knows where it could be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he kind of stole a lot of the shine from the All-Star Game just because he was from Cleveland and all that shit. But Karl Anthony Towns won the 3-point contest, dunk contest. Obi Toppin won. It wasn't that exciting. Everybody kind of said it was like the worst dunk contest of all time.
Goddamn.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty. I didn't watch it myself because the last couple of years have been pretty shitty. The dunkers don't really make their dunks on the first try. They try like 60 times. And after you see the guy try it 60 times and make it, it's not as impressive as the first time him trying it. You know what I mean? And also they don't really have stars in the dunk contest no more. Egos are involved, so nobody wants to lose the dunk contest and be shown up. So it's not the Michael Jordans of the world. It's not the Dr. J's or no big stars. It's more like rookies and kind of players that they're just known from dunking. But yeah, Steph Curry won the MVP of the All-Star game. He scored 50 points, made 15 threes, broke Klay Thompson's record for most threes in the All-Star game. And it was funny too because he was getting introduced in Cleveland. Of course, he gets booed there because him and LeBron were going at it with Golden State and the Cavaliers for all those years. So every time they introduced Steph, they would boo him hella. So he was hyped up for the All-Star game, and he dropped 50 on their ass, and yeah, went dumb. But it was a cool weekend altogether. It was good to see the All-Star game. Good to see people, out in Cleveland showing them support and bringing some money into the local areas. Just real quick, I know this was like last couple of weeks ago, but some of the NFL honors that I want to throw out there. MVP, Aaron Rodgers, Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel, Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Burrow, Offensive Player of the Year. Who was Offensive Player of the Year? Oh, of course, Cooper Kupp. Defensive Player of the Year went to T.J. Watt. It was surprising that Trayvon Diggs didn't get it. He had hella interceptions, but they did fall off towards the end of the year. But Steelers weren't really good at all, so I don't really understand that much actually. But also, let's see. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jamar Chase. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Micah Parsons. But yeah, I think Tom Brady should have won MVP. Cooper Kupp, he got one vote. That's pretty good. First time for a receiver getting any kind of votes in MVP in a while, so it might be ever. But he had a historic season, Triple Crown winner, had over 2,000 yards. So shout out to Cooper Kupp, and shout out to the Rams for actually winning the Super Bowl. They did win that. I don't know if I mentioned that on here. I don't think we've had a podcast since the Super Bowl happened. The Rams won. I don't know if you heard. Goddamn Rams. God damn it. Matt Stafford did it in his first year with the Rams. Man, they did that shit. So Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Odell Beckham, of course, Von Miller, all the guys on the team, all the Rams. Congratulations. Derek, enjoy it because everybody already is plotting on how to beat y'all next year. That's how fast it comes. You're champions at 1 second, and then the next day everybody's at your neck because it's a whole new season and they forget about you. So enjoy it now. Hope you enjoyed the parade, Rams. But that's all the sports talk I want to get in. Everybody, you guys already know all that stuff. I just wanted to kind of touch base with y'all. Sorry, AK, I know you ain't really into all this stuff. So, I just had to go on that rant and let the people know. I know they was waiting for that. But let's get into some of these trailers that kind of showed up during the Super Bowl, talking about the Super Bowl. We saw a little more intricate trailers of Moon Knight and Doctor Strange. And what is it, Multiverse of Madness or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you want to talk about first?
I mean, Moon Knight, because it's less to talk about with that one.
Yeah,
it's
like 30 seconds.
Yeah. It just shows a little bit more of like, really like, it doesn't really give the like, Easter eggs and stuff. It's more so just showing him and like more of what's going to happen with him. But it looks interesting. I like the fact that they're showing, I like the way his uniform wraps around him. It's like that, the way it make him like he's more of a traditional type of superhero, or like what we're expecting in a comic, I should say.
Yeah.
But as far as the movie ones, I guess Iron Man kind of is. He's kind of still reminiscent of himself in the comic, but every other character kind of changes a little bit. But
yeah,
and we'll see. I haven't seen that show yet, so maybe he's like a lot different. But so far, like it looks a lot like the comic.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting how they portray the multiple personalities as well. So you might get used to him in his actual Moon Knight character, but there's going to be some other scenes where he's going to fucking flip and play this other character that you definitely did not expect. And I hope it's like over 6 episodes so they can really show that and utilize the different personalities and shit like that. I really liked how the cape, when he jumped out of the off the building, it was the crescent moon.
Yeah,
that was clean as fuck. Yeah,
it was literally like, to me, reminiscent of the old Batman when he would do that jump, but it was like a Batman, like a signal, like a bat signal. And in that case, his was like his moon signal. So you can see
kind of like, go ahead.
So you can see just like the parallel to Batman in it.
And I like how the suit comes on, like it gets on him. It's kind of like Spawnish, like
that's
it kind of just
thinking,
it is summons, like it's alive, like it's a sentient like suit or whatever, like Star Kid and shit. It's a throwback. Go back. But it was tight, man. I'm excited to see it. I think it comes out March 30th, if I'm not mistaken, or sometime in March. But let's really get into this Doctor Strange trailer, though, because it showed us a lot more about the storyline, a lot more about what's going to happen, and ultimately a super reveal at the end, which puts a lot more shit on the table and questions a lot more.
Actually,
That's what's going to happen next.
the super reveal was like in the middle. It wasn't at the end.
I don't even know where it was. I just kind of like.
It was in the middle of it. It was like right when they had they was taking Doctor Strange into custody or whatnot. So that was like the middle of it, yeah. But it showed a shit ton of stuff. Like, first it started when it shows the the different dimensions and shit that they're falling through. At least this is the beginning, earlier in the trailer. I can't remember exactly the order of the trailer, but I remember like he wakes up and talks about a dream and stuff, and as he stand in front of I forgot the name of it, but his sanctorium or whatever it is. But it's like the
Sanctum
Kayne.
Sanctorum.
Yeah, but then that one looks different than his. Like it's an extra story. His doesn't have that many stories or some shit. But when I actually get into it, they show a lot of shit. Like they show first, you see when he gets arrested by Baron Mordor, who has like long ass dreads. I'm assuming he's a different one from I don't know, maybe I don't think his hair would have grown that long in that short period of time. So I'm assuming he's from a different dimension. But then when he handcuffs him and he's walking, he has those Ultron droids. So basically, whatever universe they're in, Iron Man was, he completed his task of making Ultron like a weapon, a shield across the world, across the earth, So instead of Ultron turning bad, he actually did what he's supposed to. So that's why people are all theorizing that there's going to be a Superior Iron Man, because it's kind of like his storyline, but Superior Iron Man was an asshole. So I don't know.
And it's supposed to be Tom Cruise, right?
They were probably talking about using him because originally when they were casting the role of Iron Man, he was one of the picks they wanted to use for that role.
Yeah, I feel that. That'll be tight. That'll be tight. Also, it leaves all this multiversal stuff leaves the door open for Loki and the what are they called again? From
the
from
VTA.
Loki. Yeah, VTA. I think we're gonna see them possibly.
Or TVA, whatever it is.
Yeah, some shit like that. They
the
know
Time Variant Association.
Yeah, that might be TVA. But yeah, I think we're gonna see, because I think we did see Supreme Doctor Strange in there, right? At one point in the trailer.
So we don't know if it was actually him, but it looked like it might have been him. They kind of resemble each other, but they kind of didn't. Like he didn't have the super like collar that was like sticking up like the original one, and he didn't have the same personality. He seemed like he was more crazy than the other Supreme Doctor Strange. Supreme Doctor Strange didn't look crazy. He just looked like he'd been through some shit,
Yeah, it'll be kind of silly though. I really hope that the ultimate, baddie that the Illuminati needs Wanda for is to take down Ultimate Doctor Strange, which is the ultimate thing that Marvel does.
But he wasn't really bad. If you remember, he wasn't bad in
in What If he wasn't, but I don't know. They may make an ultimate version.
He was bad in his episode, but not in the finale of What If.
Right.
Yeah, but it could be a different version of him. There's gonna be zombie Strange too, because they showed a zombie of Doctor Strange also.
So I don't remember that part now. Yeah. But we did again of the Illuminati. Do you think we're gonna see any Black Panther cameos? Because he was in the Illuminati.
No, he wasn't actually. He rejected the Illuminati.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, him and I forgot who else it was. Somebody else rejected it, but I think they kind of changed that up because the members were originally what was it? Black Bolt, Namor, Xavier, Professor X, Fantastic Four dude, Reed Richards. And and I think that's it. I can't remember who else it was. Oh, Iron Man, my bad. That's who it was. But it's like they're basically all representing their teams. It's like the Avengers, the X-Men, Atlantis, wherever other motherfuckers are from too. I forgot what else I said. Oh yeah, Doctor Strange too. Mystic and magic and shit. But I think that they're gonna like kind of replace them with other characters, either variants of themselves or just other characters that we already are familiar with in the MCU. I think they might bring Namor in there because they already cast him. He's gonna be Mexican, by the way. It's pretty funny. He's gonna be one of the guys from Narco.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty dark-skinned Mexican dude too, which is crazy. That's pretty dope. So they might have him in there. Who knows? But people were speculating that one of them might be a variant of Black Panther, and one of them might be Captain Carter, because I don't know if you remember, they have like the I don't know if it's like the cover art or whatever of it, where they show Doctor Strange and like a bunch of broken glasses and shit with
Right.
different pictures
Yeah.
in it. And
Uh-huh.
people were going and being real fucking critical with that and analyzing the fuck out of it. They found a lot of crazy shit. Like one of them,
Hmm.
they found Captain Carter's shield. They even found Deadpool in there. And at first, when I saw it, I was like, "That's some bullshit." That's not. Then I look at it closely, and I'm like, "Well, it's kind of hard for them to just organically, accidentally create a thing doing this." So I was like, "Okay, it must be. It's probably maybe Deadpool's going to be in it." So
That'll be
it's
tight.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of speculations, but nothing's set in stone. But then they also have that scene where Wanda's fighting against. It looks like Captain Marvel, and it looks like some special Iron Man suit. We don't know. Did you see that scene?
I remember what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So
think there's
they,
a lot of shit's gonna go down. I hope they introduce the X-Men, especially because
well,
you hear.
you hear Professor X, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was thinking like the origins, like, because what are they gonna do for the origins of X-Men? And
Yeah, I know.
well, I was thinking they were probably just gonna, because they have the rights to that X-Men cartoon from the '90s that everybody
Right.
loves, right? So if you see, there's one scene in the trailer where like uh, Doctor Strange and America Chavez, was like Miss America, the new character they added in there, are like following through dimensions. Have you seen that part of it?
Hmm.
And one of the dimensions they fall through, when they go through it, you notice that the dimension is a cartoon. And they start, and Doctor Strange's cape, when it's going through it, it starts to turn to a cartoon too for a brief second, then it goes to the next scene. But that indicates to me that the cartoons are also real in this world. So it's a possibility that instead of making an origin story for X-Men, because they're already releasing new X-Men episodes for that cartoon, they can just make it like, yeah, these are those X-Men from that cartoon. So if you want the origin
Yeah.
story, go watch the '90s cartoon.
Right. And they're gonna. He said it's gonna be a continuation, so it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
But
That is.
I also for some reason think that they're gonna kill off the Illuminati. I think Wanda's gonna kill them off.
Um, it is kind of controversial, anyways, for them to even call it that. So I would think they, will just mention it, pay homage to it, and just do away with
But
it. I
the
feel.
Illuminati is not controversial. Illuminati is just an organization nobody thinks exists or may not exist, but it's just a secret organization that controls shit. And in
Well,
their case, they're doing it more for like protection.
no, no,
So
the play on the word. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I get it. Illuminate smart people, do smart things to help. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, should be interesting. I like how they keep going. Kevin Feige and them keep going deeper into the lore, serving the fans like they want to be served, and it's going to help. Don't
Yeah.
do like Star Wars did.
What do you do?
Went the wrong way with their franchise, and just
Oh
people kind of
yeah.
fucking
Was
hated
it
it.
7, 8, 9? Yeah, they what they did with that was just dishonor the original characters. That was the
Yeah.
part that made me the most. I mean, upset was, yeah, they dishonored the original characters, and they kind of made like all this build up for Jedi's to do all this training bullshit, because you get some girl who has no training at all, or very little training, even less than Luke. And Luke was the chosen one, so it's expected for him not to need that much training. But her,
Mhm.
she didn't have barely any training, and her ass is doing like elite level Jedi fucking moves and stuff. So it's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, they keep, like I said, they keep doing what we need them to do. These shows have been getting better and better, and the reviews have been getting better and better, and I've been enjoying all of that shit. So keep it going, Disney. And just talking more about the Super Bowl, how did you like this halftime show? Did you watch the halftime show at all?
Yeah,
Or see
I thought it was
okay.
dope.
You
Thought
thought
it
it
was
was
probably
dope?
one of the best that I've seen since Prince, I guess, or Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah. There was a lot of people saying that, it was kind of like pandering a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like people just weren't really taking it for what it really was.
Pandering in what way?
Um, Somebody playing music?
I don't hear it.
Oh,
I just hear rain.
maybe it's outside. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah. It was cool. It was cool to me too. I don't like how short it was. I feel like they didn't have a lot, as much time as other people had.
It didn't seem like it, but I mean, it still was decent. They had a lot of people up there. They were, talking about Eminem kneeling, and I guess they asked none of the performers to kneel, but he did. And somebody had pointed out there, like even when they did the national anthem, they weren't showing all the players. So I'm assuming that some players were kneeling, they just didn't show them on camera because
And
they kept showing.
my thing is they try to have black artists too, so that they feel like that helps. That they won't kneel if they have a black artist. Like I don't know, man. I think the national anthem, they just find a better way to do that. And they do now. They do the black national anthem, and then they do the Canada stuff. I forgot what they did. They put in a black, kind of like, I wouldn't say the black national anthem, but a song that they sing.
I don't know. I hear about that. I never heard the black national anthem, but what they should do is do the real black national anthem, which is just Marvin Gaye singing it back in the what was it, the 80s or 70s when he sung that shit. Just have him. That's the black national anthem. Just have him sing it.
I feel it.
That little 80s beat behind it. The little weird shit that he had going in the background that was pointless. Like he the only person that had his own beat for that shit.
I feel it. I don't know, man. Oh shit.
What?
I got a text message from Veronica. She's with the beans, ultimate bean, and it's a car outside that's slapping. I don't know why they're slapping like that. But anyways, yeah, I like the halftime show a lot. 50 Cent came out there with a pull up. That was interesting. I don't know if
everybody made fun of him. He wasn't even that fat. Like people were hella getting on him. It was like, this is how many years later this man is like a little more overweight than he was back then, and I'm pretty sure he could lose that shit quick. They was getting on him bad about being fat. But then I realized that nigga pulled himself up on his own and did all that shit with no help. Like,
10 seconds before he started rapping.
Yeah, he can still fuck you up. So
and he got down while he was performing.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. But yeah, I also like the fact that Snoop Dogg was coming out there being himself. He was able to be himself on stage, and Snoop Dogg is the man. He was out there gang banging, sea walking, throwing up C's on stage. had the dancers out there sea walking. It was just crazy. Dr. Dre out there. Anderson .Paak came out. Mary J did her thing. That was wild. I wanted to see her come out with a Method Man and do a song with Method Man.
That's what everybody was hoping for. They thought that he was gonna be the special guest, but it ended up being 50, which I think was cool because it fit the theme better.
Yeah, for sure. And also, what else happened? Eminem. How do you feel about "Lose Yourself"? You think he should have did a different song?
Hey, that's good. It's a song that's like more a motivational song for the Super Bowl, so it makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
he has a pretty dope catalog, so he could have used almost any song, but a lot of his songs his best songs are pretty vulgar. So
yeah, I think they picked a lot of the most well-known songs they had and just kind of played those. Because I wanted to hear Snoop, that shit.
That would have been dope.
You know what I'm saying? That's the slapper right there with Pharrell too. Maybe they just did like Dr. J produced songs though.
Yeah, and then 50 should have did Many Men. That'd have been
yeah, that's what I wanted to see. 50 Cent Many Men or like a PIMP or a Window Shopper or something like that. Yeah, but like I said, they probably did like strictly Dr. J produced shit. Shit that he had something to do with. But it was tight. It was good for the culture. Next year they have something. They gotta do something big next year, I guess. Super big.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how you top that, but maybe they'll just limit it to 2 performers so we can get more songs than that out of each star. It was a good production. They were in LA, so I see what they're trying to do. Maybe you can get like the biggest star from each state that I don't know who's from Arizona next year, but get somebody from Arizona to do the Super Bowl and they can do something big like that. But I don't know if they'll be able to top that regardless though. Let's see what's next. All right, I'll talk about that later. But after the Super Bowl, it was a Super Bowl after party. Kodak Black was shot. Did you see this video?
Yeah, I saw that video.
The shit was wild, man. It looked like a pure setup. Did you see the slow motion of the guy that shot into the?
It looked completely. Dude was standing there doing that and just like waiting for it to look like. But at the same time, I look at it like you motherfuckers is from the hood and making millions of dollars, however much y'all making. And you out there being ignorant and fighting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If people always say, "Oh, when you get money, you change," you're supposed to fucking change. Yeah. Nigga, don't act the same way. You got too much to lose. You got 2 people that's depending on you out there wanting to be involved in a fucking fight. Nah, fuck that. That's what you got security for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, yeah. He almost that was wild. If dude wouldn't looked away when he was shooting, he probably would have shot him more than in his foot. But yeah, he got shot in the foot. Luckily, that's all that happened. But yeah, LA was on fire. I kind of figured like during this Super Bowl and shit, it was going to get kind of wild out there. So if you did go, hopefully everybody made it back safe. People was like in the Joe Budden podcast, it was like a lot of people lost their jewelry that night. They saw they changed for the last time. And yeah, and they out there getting wild. So luckily, you know, Vegas wasn't really like that. LA, I don't know why LA has that rap. I really don't.
Maybe I think it's just because when you get to a place where you got that gap in like wealth, you're gonna have that issue. You got people who are making a shit ton of money, living around a bunch of people who are barely make any money. They're gonna take any opportunity they can to get that money. That's how it always has been.
Yeah, it's just wild. It's just wild. It's just like known now that if you come to LA, shit might happen to you. LA and New York is the shit where I hear about it happening the most. It's just like fuck.
Yeah, because you got to think you got these cats who live born and raised in LA, probably doing some gang banging street shit, and then they see all these dudes already in Hollywood making hella money. Now they got all these YouTubers and shit walking around vlogging in front of them.
Right.
They know. Then they hear the numbers these motherfuckers is pulling in. Oh yeah, they setting up a lick definitely. Like, oh yeah, keep making your video. Do that shit, edit it good. I'm gonna rob your ass. But you really mine.
The world today, man. It's wild out there, but prayers up to Kodak Black. He has been in the news a lot recently. He has a couple of albums coming out, so I don't know if I'm not gonna say this is publicity because nobody wants to get shot. Getting shot ain't no.
Hey, shoot me for my album.
Yeah, that don't really make much sense, but who knows nowadays how this media market works. But yeah, man, all this violence, man, and all this shit needs to stop, especially famous rappers, man. Just move right. They were outside. They weren't even in the party. I mean, at least if you're going to be at the party, be in the party. If you're not in the party, dip out of there because anything can happen outside. Because you don't need no VIP to get outside. You don't. What we got next? Oh, Van Jones, politician. I don't know exactly what news station he's from, but a couple of weeks ago, he was making waves in the news for this proposition he put out there. I guess he had a baby with one of his good friends. They're not together, but they're co-parenting a child with one of his good friends. And he says it's working out good for him. And he actually encourages that as, as a way to raise a baby, to raise kids and bring people into this world. Even if you have, don't want to have feelings for the person that you're having a baby with, it's a good friend of yours, co-parent and have a relationship. How do you feel about that?
Fuck kids, but that's just me. I'm not doing that shit. I mean, to each his own. If he wants to do it, that's fine. I think it would make sense because a lot of times people will have a kid with somebody out of like lust or love just because they find the person attractive and then have a kid with them and realize that person probably ain't fit to raise a kid. So if you're choosing a friend, you're probably choosing it on different criteria other than how fat her ass is or something like that, and vice versa for the woman, So, I mean, I guess you probably have a better chance of picking somebody who's more capable of raising a kid. So you have a, somewhat normal kid, but that's not really a normal environment to raise a man. But ain't shit. It's just what it is.
No, it's tough as fuck to explain.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially like your mom and dad, and they never really loved each other. They were never in love. They just.
They loved each other. They never, were romantically involved other than they just turkey basted for the baby. I don't know.
I know, right? It would happen because I feel like actual sex will just lead to actual feelings, right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, maybe on her behalf, but I've had a lot of sex that after I'm done, it's like, all right, bye. I mean, I'll probably call you again.
But was it good for the friendship?
We weren't friends before, so.
That's what we're talking about. The friend, somebody called. It was a topic on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne and them, and somebody called in and was like, "Yeah, man, I had this friend, man. We started messing around, and we messed around, and have a baby." That's not the same kind of. That's not the same thing because they're talking about.
But I think that if you like do it like out of like, oh, you friends, and then you guys are sexually attractive, and then you drink, and then when you have sex with somebody, if it's just like you two friends, like, yeah, I have no sexual attraction to you either, but I do want a baby, you do, okay, we can have sex this one time. I mean, I feel like if there was no real attraction before and you only doing it for the intent of a baby, I mean, I don't think there's going to be that issue, but who knows, somebody might catch feelings. That happens. I've had it happen where I've had quote unquote friends with benefits, and then after a few times they start asking the question, so what are we?
Right.
Discussion.
That's why it's kind of hard to believe that people can actually take this and actually normalize it, because it's already to have sex with somebody already kind of makes a friendship kind of weird. So the fact that you're going to be like, oh, we're going to have a baby, we're friends. If you don't get married at this certain time, and I'm not married by this certain time, and we need to have kids before we get too old, I'm gonna have a kid with you.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I guess that gets a little weird.
Now, the only way it's gonna be a friend is if I'm picking somebody simply because that I trust them and I feel like they'd be a good parent. Because my thing is like I don't want no kids in general, but if I did have a kid, regardless if it's a boy or girl, I want them to be very, very like just like absorbed in like different styles of combat. I want to basically raise a fucking ninja assassin, and not too many females are gonna let me like have their kid out there throwing shurikens and shit. So I don't know.
Yeah, and just keep, if you're just gonna do it that way, just make sure your friend has like some dope ass super athletic attributes.
I don't give a fuck. I feel like training and preparation beats talent any day.
So you can mold a piece of clay in the indie thing, huh?
Yeah.
I feel that for sure. Moving on, I know you say you haven't heard this song yet, but I want to talk about this song, and then after we can reflect on how you felt when you heard it. So Fabio Foreign has a new song out with Alicia Keys and Kanye West called New York City. I think it's called New York City, but it's a sample that Alicia Keys sings, New York City.
But Kanye's not from New York, though, like from Chicago.
I know, but Fabio Foreign's from New York, and he's supposed to be producing Fabio Foreign's whole next album. So this is like kind of like a taste of what it would sound like. So it's
that'd be like a nigga making a song about Atlanta, Georgia, and be like, "Hey, they could get on this song with me." Nigga, I've never even been to Atlanta.
But when I get to what Kanye West does when he's on the song, and kind of you'll see why he actually did it. But Fabio Foreign, he's a drill rapper from New York, and he is kind of big in that sound right now. But once you put Mike Dean and Kanye West on it, it's going to sound magical. And I think that's what the production on this song is. Lyrically, it's okay. Fabio Foreign does his usual thing. Kanye West does a crazy verse, crazy as far as what he says, not crazy, like super dope. But I just want you to hear the production on that shit. That shit is so wild. The beat, the little drill type beat, and how Mike Dean does Alicia Keys vocals, and just when the verses start, like the beat when they first start their verses, that shit is wild. So I'll send it to you again, and then you'll listen to it next episode. Just let me know how you feel about it, because that shit is dope. Mike Dean always does his thing, get you in a trance when you hear the song, and that's pretty much how it kind of feels to me. But Kanye West's verse in the song is kind of, he uses this as an opportunity to go in on Pete Davidson. Again, talk about how you're gonna have 100 goons pull up the SNL, talking shit like that. So yeah, it's just he's a wild boy. And actually, let's just kind of talk a little bit more about some more of his antics that he's been doing recently. I guess Kim Kardashian is calling for Kanye West to stop posting a bunch of shit about Pete Davidson, because she thinks his fans are going to do something to Pete Davidson and hurt him on behalf of Kanye West. So Kanye West posts to Instagram, please everybody, I'll handle this by myself. Please don't hurt Skeet. So he's calling him Skeet online, posting pictures of him, calling him lame, calling him Skeet, talking shit about Kid Cudi. Everybody knows Kid Cudi is, came up with Kanye, and, Kanye brought up Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi became a star and shit like that. And together they were like a dynamic duo. He's saying now that Kid Cudi is not going to be on Donda II because he's friends with Skeet, with that guy, with who, and he's supposed to be my boy and he's not my boy. This and that. There's just a lot going on with him. I guess we would think this is a promotion for Donda II that's coming out. Was supposed to come out today, but wasn't able to come out today. He exclusively released it to his little stem player that he put out during Donda I, and those stem players cost $200 a piece. So if you wanted that album today, you had to pay $200 for it, which was a fucking crazy ass proposition one. And I don't know, people actually that bought it, they were mad because they didn't actually get the album that came out today. So now he has angry fans.
What do you mean they didn't get the album that came out? What do you mean?
The album didn't drop on the stem player. So they bought the stem players today and the album didn't even drop. So they spent $200 for nothing. So it's getting kind of wild. He sold 1 million of the STEM players in the first day, though.
God damn!
Therefore,
So he made $200 million in the first day. That's fucking crazy.
exactly. In
I'm just
basically,
I'm surprised it's like people who still do that shit. Like, goddamn.
yeah. Basically made
I
$200 on
love
each
music,
album.
I love music, but ain't no way I'm a support one of my favorite artists who's probably a millionaire who's gonna make me pay $200 for his album. Fuck that.
Yeah, he's billionaire too, so he should not be doing that at all. And he's made it not available on any streaming services.
I don't give a fuck if he was a thousandaire. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, allows hype beasts to buy them all before anybody gets them and resell them for hella money anyways. And it's a quick money grab for Kanye to make a quick $200 million and didn't even really release the album, as far as I heard. So yeah, shit's just going down. And now he's filing paperwork to try to protect his assets in the divorce, since he's not gonna win this battle of getting his wife back. You know what I mean? So it's
I
looking
don't know
kind of
why would you want her back if she just left you and immediately picked up some random dude? That to me
right.
it's a lost cause, man.
Right, and you're immediately like embarrassing yourself with all the antics.
Yeah.
He dumped that girl that he was with. They're not together anymore. That Fox, the actress girl.
I mean, I don't understand why she would want to be with him if he's out there publicly saying how he wants to get back with his wife, and he's dating her. That's the stupidest shit ever.
I don't know. It's kind of a career boost for her as well. I don't know.
It is, but I mean, it's like that shows you that she was purely in that for that point, for that purpose, because she probably didn't care that he broke up with her.
Yeah,
she got what she wanted. Because I had no idea who she was beforehand. I mean, I still don't know who she is, but I know more about her than I did before he started dating her.
Yeah, I feel that.
I know what she looks like, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess she was on this. She was on that call her daddy or whatever podcast. And she said she was like doing heroin when she was like 15 and shit like that, and kind of delving into more of her life, trying to kind of like keep that. I would think she's trying to keep that fame going, since she isn't.
Was this after or before she broke up with him?
This is after.
Oh.
This is like kind of after. I don't know. It's weird. Entertainment business is weird. I'm not sure. Shit gets crazy. People support the madness, and the more shit goes crazy, the more money they make off of it, and they don't really care about these artists' sanity. I know Kanye West is just losing it publicly, and people are just making a bunch of money off of it, and it's kind of crazy. He's making a bunch of money off of it, which is crazy. I don't know. He's never going to stop and get help if it's just the result. He just makes millions and millions of dollars.
Did you see his documentary they had on Netflix?
Not yet. I plan to watch it soon, but I haven't started watching it yet.
I tried to. I think I got like 20 minutes in, and I couldn't keep watching. It was just like a bunch of old footage of him that like they put together, and people talking about him all nice and whatnot. It was...
Okay. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, he produced it. And I'm sure nothing's gonna be. Nobody's gonna talk bad about him. I heard Bow Wow was in it.
I don't know. I didn't finish it, so.
Oh yeah, I haven't even started watching it yet. I probably will soon though. There's a lot of stuff out on Netflix that I want to watch first. I watched that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't watch it. It's not really that good. It's not good at all. Actually, it's stupid.
I wouldn't watch anyways. They remake that shit too much. It's played out.
Yeah,
and I've been watching that fucking All of Us Are Dead, whatever it is, that Korean.
Is that good?
It kind of. I don't remember. It was like this anime and manga back in the day called High School of the Dead. I think that's what it was called. And it's like basically the same premise where it's like a high school in Japan, I think, or Korea, I don't know where it was at in the anime, and all hell breaks loose with zombies and shit. And it's pretty much the students trying to stay alive. This is pretty much the same premise, but they're not as like gung ho with like getting weapons and shit as they were in the anime, of course. And here the kids seem really fucking stupid, but I mean it's still the same premise. They're dumb as fuck, but if you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a good show, though. I like it. It's just a lot of fucking dumbass people, and like it shows you the difference in personalities from people over there compared to over here, because their reactions are like totally different to what we would consider. But it's a good show, though. I like it so far.
I'm gonna check it out. It's been trending for a while now. Space Force season 2 is out. I don't know if you watched Space Force season 1 with Steve Carell and shit.
Nah,
that shit's pretty funny. It's pretty. It's supposed to be Donald Trump when he's in office. They're supposed to be putting together a space force.
Oh, okay.
Kind of protect protect space. But this is kind of making like a mockery out of it. Steve Carell is like the head of it. There's a lot of people in it. It's actually pretty funny. What else
I
is
want to
in
see
it?
that.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny. Season 2 just came out. But that's pretty much all I'm watching right now. I just watched there's a couple of movies that just came out on HBO Max. I just watched the new Kingsman is out on there. It's called Kingsman, obviously.
Mm.
And there's another movie called Antler that just came out. It's a horror movie. A lot of stuff
Oh,
that's dropped.
I actually wanted to see that one. I seen the previews for it. It was like I don't know if it looked good. It was just a bunch of random ass images, but it looked scary. So
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Guillermo del Toro. So you know how he does with the horror shit. But moving on, let's talk about a little bit about this Biden crack pipe agenda. See, I'm going to touch on it just a little bit because I don't know too much of what they're trying to do. I guess they're trying to, help people on the streets get help rather, and get off of drugs, or if they're still on drugs, let them, help them do it safely.
I think. Oh, wait, keep going.
And I think, this is the part that actually caught more of the media attention rather than what I guess the plan actually, the agenda was for this plan. But more so, it's pretty much a kit that they're pretty much trying to give out to the homeless people that are doing drugs that had like safe ways to do drugs. So rather than having needles and shit, they had like syringes that were made out of like plastic or some foam or some shit, so that if they're doing the drugs, they're doing it in a safe way. But it's got a lot of flack on Twitter just because they're giving out, safe crack kits to people in the community. I feel like it's promoting drug use.
It reminded me of back when they were giving out free needles to drug addicts back in the day. And that made more sense because the drug addicts were sharing needles, which of course transmits AIDS and other viruses and shit like that. Crack pipes, I don't understand. Why would they need to supply crack pipes? They can use a fucking soda can to make crack pipes. Crackheads is like ingenuitive. They'll find anything. Remember, like, I don't know if you remember growing up in Palo Alto. You know how old cars had the antennas that like were made out of that metal tube, I don't know if you remember that back in the day. Like before we had these new antennas on cars, there was these tubes that would like when you turn the car on, they would like raise out the car.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like it's like a metal tube. East Palo Alto was notorious for everywhere you went in that city, they were broke because crackheads would see them and break them and make crack pipes out of them.
That's nuts.
Yeah, everywhere you went, if you had a car with antenna, I don't care how nice it is, if you park at East Palo Alto, when you leave, you don't have your antenna no more.
Can't listen to shit, I'd be hella mad.
Yeah. So
goddamn.
It's hella funny because that's all. Whenever I think of it, the fact that we don't have those now, I'm like, how are they getting their crack pipes now? I guess they got soda cans and shit.
Well, they're about to get some crack pipe kits. I don't know. I don't really know what that is, man. I don't really get into these shit that people are gonna pass or try to pass. A lot of the shit that does sound positive, they don't get passed in the first place. That benefits us Black people in the first place. I don't really listen that often, but when you say they're giving out crack pipe kits, I'm listening. I'm just playing. But, it was just a little crazy. I just wanted to see how you felt about that, if you heard about that at all. But hopefully that's not a big part of the initiative and the agenda that's trying to, get passed. Hopefully they're trying to get some housing for the homeless as well, find some way to feed the homeless as well, not just give them crack pipe kits to make them not transmit disease through their drug use. Get them in rehab centers.
That's how that shit kills me. It's like when they go into politics, people get like elected into like politics like that and they're trying to fix stuff, they usually end up fixing shit that most people don't care about. I guess they don't care about it, but I mean nobody gives a fuck about a crackhead getting a crack pipe. Maybe care about them getting off of crack, but not getting right. It would make more sense to give them needles because people care about people getting fucking AIDS and shit like that. So it's like I'll give them needles, give them clean needles, but who the fuck gives a what the fuck? It's like, let's also supply weed smokers with free weed pipes and bongs.
Free weed, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Again, at least they're thinking about the homeless and the drug addicted. Maybe they can just go a little deeper and do a little more than crack pipe kits. Next thing I heard today, I was on Twitter, going around Twitter, and I saw that they're in Florida. They're trying to pass a bill that they're calling the Don't Say Gay bill. Which is they're requiring students in school or teachers in schools, if they know that a kid is gay or LGBTQ or anything like that, they have 6 weeks to report it to the kid's parents, or they'll be either reprimanded for it and get in trouble for it, because I don't really know what they want from this bill, but they're just making these teachers out kids for no reason at all, which could be potentially dangerous to the kids as far as getting bullied and as far as them as their self-esteem. And maybe they don't want nobody to know that and they could do harm themselves. So that's crazy that they even have this potentially out there to be signed and passed.
I'll be honest, I think like today's society is just confused as fuck.
Yeah.
They're confused. They are sitting there and pushing this sensitive ass agenda they've been pushing for the last couple of years, where we can't say shit because everybody gets all up in a war about it and tries to cancel everybody, which in turn make everybody sensitive as fuck. And then they're gonna push a law like that, where you got a bunch of sensitive ass kids who've been raised in a sensitive ass world, and you're gonna make somebody out them or force somebody to out them as being gay. They're already fragile as fuck because society makes people fragile. There's gonna be a bunch of suicides in Florida because of that shit. A bunch of little kids just off in their shit. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't think that'd ever be possible. And I feel like if any teacher had a moral ground at all, they wouldn't even abide by that. And I would just lose my job if anything. If that has nothing to do with education, and if you're gonna try to fire teachers over shit like that, that could stunt education, and it just makes no sense.
It has nothing to do with like why does that even matter with education? It has nothing to do with school, with like learning.
Right.
And not to mention, if I'm a parent and my kid gets outed as being gay and that kid gets bullied and then kills themselves, I'm gonna go fuck up that teacher.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that teacher gonna see me for real.
Yeah, and it's like, how is that their place at all? How is that anybody's place to out anybody about anything like that of their nature? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. And at what age would you start doing shit like that? Like, what happens if you do out them as gay? What happens? Is that to protect the student? Is there teachers, parents out there that are scared about their kid being around other gay students and not knowing about it? So they're trying to force. That's just a weird ass objective to try to push, and it affects so many people, like young people. Like it sounds like a deep South way of trying to stop people from being gay or some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's some deep state shit. I don't know. It's weird as fuck to me. And I feel like these laws that are attempting to get passed, it just makes more and more of a mockery in our government system now.
I feel like there should be like a thing where, like, how you got the what do they call that shit again? They probably already have it, I don't know, but I haven't heard of it. But they got internal affairs for police and shit like that.
Right.
They should have that shit for the government. They probably have it, but I never heard of it. But I feel like when people do like say stupid, immoral ass fucking laws like that and try and push them, they should be like, yeah, you're not fit to be in this position anymore. Like you literally try to make us out people for something that has nothing to do with anything. It's like, what does somebody's sexual orientation have to do with anybody else unless they fucking them?
And my thing is also they have people in seats in the Senate and stuff that are Democrats and Republicans that are actually working for the opposite party. They call them dinos. It's like a Democrat in party only or something like that, in name only, Democrat in name only, but they still work for the Republicans not to get stuff passed for the Democrats. And they call the ones that are Republicans that are working for Democrats, they call them rhinos, Republicans in name only, which is they fight hard to get shit that Democrats want to get passed, not passed when they're on the same side. And both sides have that plan. Our government shouldn't be going against each other to even pass stupid ass shit like this. I felt like trying to pass this shit is just trying to make the other side mad and be like, ha, look what we can do. And look what we did to y'all. And just give us what we want, who we want as president, and we'll stop trying to push these stupid ass bills.
I just think I feel like it's just like a lot of times when you have like governments and making rules, they change. They have a weird like line between what's like morally right and what is just like right in general. Like, okay, don't do drugs because drugs may impair your judgment or make you get in a car and drive and crash, things like that. Makes sense. Make rules to for drugs, to not do them or do them responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to anything with sex, only time it should be a law for it is if somebody's imposing their sexual will on somebody else. Other than that, who gives a fuck?
Right.
There's certain states where they outlaw oral sex or shit like that, and it's like, why the fuck? What does that matter to you?
Yeah.
Like, as long as it's not like, okay, I understand underage and shit like that too. That's a thing, but those are the only two things you should worry about when it comes to sex: is somebody taking somebody, doing some pedophile shit, or somebody raping somebody.
Yeah.
It's like there's no other real reasons for any laws to be made for sex other than that.
Yeah, and this goes to show how little our country you know, I don't know, just because there's a war going on about to be a war going on in Russia and Ukraine. It's on the brink of World War III. And we're over here talking about motherfucking trying to out kids in schools at little kids.
I feel like that's a control thing. Like some people just have control. They want control. It's like it's something that we feel is morally wrong, even though nobody else feels this way, just I do. So we're gonna make a law against it. It's like marijuana, for example. Like they made marijuana illegal when it's less harmful than tobacco or alcohol. But the reason why they made it illegal was because they thought that it made white women do stuff with blacks and Latino men. It made them, so they was like, okay, we banning this shit. And like they didn't care about how much of an negative impact it would have, because when they banned marijuana, they also banned hemp, which was one of the biggest fucking cash crops at the time. They use hemp for everything. So simply because of somebody's dumbass like moral beliefs that they believe is wrong, they can make a law that makes everybody else not doing it. It kind of reminds me of when Kim Jong Il, I think his name was, when he wanted to stop smoking cigarettes. So he made everybody in North Korea stop smoking cigarettes by penalty of death. Yeah.
God damn.
That's what it reminds me of. It's like, we will make a law that has nothing to do with actual anything other than our personal opinion or something. And we're gonna force you to, abide by this law. So it's like, we don't think that you should be hiding the fact you're gay. If somebody knows about it, you're forced to tell. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with you? Nothing at all.
That's wild. That shit is hella wild. But yeah, man, I hope that bill doesn't pass. Hopefully Biden doesn't have like a veto or some shit that he can use to.
I would hope so.
Because he's gonna lose if he doesn't stop that from getting passed. He's gonna lose such a, what's that shit called? Something score or popularity, whatever they rate him as. It's gonna be pretty bad, because after these shootings, after this, I don't know, a lot of shit that's going down, that he hasn't really spoken up as much as people need him to. He's not really acting as, I don't know, I don't want to say as Trump would act, but just as aggressively, as loudly as he should about some of these things that are going down, especially within his own government. So who knows, man? I don't talk too much about the politics and shit, but as it gets closer to home, I'm not saying that I have anything to do with the LGBTQ community, but it's just like, damn, our future and our kids and shit like that, you're gonna be affecting their psyches forever. Like you said, we might lose some of our young youth over something they're not even understanding yet. They're coming into their sexuality, and you're just gonna, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know how I'm gonna describe it, but it's like you're calling out somebody. It's like a witch hunt, kind of like. Now you're gonna have these kids trying to hide the fact that they're gay even more and be so much scared to come out. Like it's just wild for people to even think that way.
Not even they'll be scared to even show any indication that they are gay, because now I'm gonna get outs for it or some shit.
Right. Now I'm gonna have to move schools because I'm gonna get bullied. I don't even know. See, my thing is like, what do they do once they find out that the kid is gay or LGBTQ? Like, it seems to me like they're gonna put like a like something on their backpack to signify it. Like, what the fuck? It's just gonna be too much. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like parents wouldn't even. I wouldn't. If I was a parent, I'd be like, nah. Like, if I had a gay son, I would want him to just tell me on his own whenever he feels like it.
Exactly.
Because I would be upset if some random official from school comes just to tell me, so we believe your son is gay. Like, what the fuck?
And what if he wasn't gay?
Yeah.
What if he wasn't gay?
How you got this dad sitting here sweating like shit? My son taking, up the, so it's like.
I'd be hella offended too. It's like, what, you're saying my kid is gay just for?
If I was the kid, I gotta go back to school now and sit with this person who went and tried to like convince my parents that I was gay. I'm gonna be an asshole every time I see her. Right? Ain't working. Shut up, bitch. No nipple ass.
Right. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but you can't force somebody to be gay at the same time. Oh, I think this person is gay, so no, I'm not. You're lying to me right now. What? You're gay. What? How are you gonna tell me what I am and what I'm not? That's just wild.
You were born a woman in a man's body. Like, what the fuck?
I know.
Don't worry, I'm down with the LGBTQ.
Right.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
My friend's gay. I know everything about it. No, bro. You don't know. You can't just do that, especially the kids, man. Ugh. Like, what age would it start? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just too much. Let's get off that. Lastly, here before we get up out of here, two things. Netflix green lights comedy special. Dave Chappelle. I don't know if you've seen the She's Ready by Tiffany Haddish, where she brought out a couple of comedians that were under her umbrella that she wanted to get more exposure. She put on a show to kind of showcase their talents. I know Donnell Rollins is going to be one of the stars that he has a special for under that tree. I think he'll have one as well, but there'll be a couple other people as well that he's going to have working with him as well. And it's cool to see that Netflix is still willing to work with Dave Chappelle. Seeing all the other stuff happen with the LGBTQ community and his stand-up special and all the flack he got for that. But it's good to see Netflix is still working with, I don't know if it's necessarily good because they're gonna go wherever the money is regardless, but it's good for them to kind of understand his view, his vision, and that what he said, wasn't necessarily, he didn't have any animus behind it. He was just trying to make some points and point out the hypocriticalness of society and cancel culture. Yeah.
I feel like also with the whole LGBT, especially as far as like the trans community, is they need to maybe I don't know what do you call it, police the whole community of people who come out and say stupid shit, because when they say stuff a lot of times it just makes it lessens their influence, because it's a lot of stupid shit. Like recently I was hearing some shit about Adele coming out and all she said was, I'm so happy to be a woman or something.
Yeah, when she got that award.
Now you got these trans people coming out saying that, oh, she's transphobic because of this, and it's like, really? Now you're making me I don't even care. Now when I hear shit like that, it makes me not even want to look at other issues that they bring up.
Right. It hurts their struggle.
Yeah, and I feel like the same thing happens with every struggle when you have people who just pretend on pretend on something, like add extra to something that's not that big of a deal. We always hear it like when every time you see a black person get killed by a cop, everybody immediately like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, no, let's wait to see real quick. Because I remember there was one in Chicago that happened a few years ago. And from the video I saw at first, I was like, oh, they just shot this motherfucker for no reason. I was mad as fuck. And then I went and watched it again in slow motion and was like, oh, wait, no. Right before they shot him, he pulled a big ass fucking gun from under his shirt. So it's like, when you see people constantly do that, it kind of makes you feel like, well, shit, they're going to get mad about everything that has anything to do with them rather than shit that actually matters. So
right.
And I feel like the same thing happens when you have people in trans pointing out shit that has no fucking actual foundation to it. Like, oh, she said she's transphobic because she said she loves being a woman.
Right.
It's like, so if I know, like, when you hear white power and black power, white power usually represents, racism, but that's because for years people who are racist would use that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if somebody just said I love being white, I'm not gonna be like, fuck you racist. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you should, you're white.
Right.
And like, you should love the fuck out of that.
Especially with her context, that award was usually separated by men and women. And she won over some men in that category. And she's basically saying, I don't really know about, this is the first year of it being mixed, but I just know that I love to be a woman and I'm proud to be a woman. Pretty much.
And I don't think actually any men, like any males came out and was like, oh, she's anti-male.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, nobody came out and said that because she said she loved to be a woman. That's yeah.
Right.
And Donatello and Michelangelo were human phobic because they love being turtles. I don't know. It's like,
shit is wild. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of different ways to kind of bring your struggle to the forefront without attacking everything. Because, like you said, the more and more you kind of cry wolf, in a sense, is like people are going to believe you a lot less because, the struggle that you guys are trying to present, which is definitely is real. People are going to put less weight on it when stuff that you do bring up are a little more minute. And I mean, to each his own.
It's not even minute. It's when you're bringing up stuff that has no actual like foundation for being in that argument.
Right.
You're trying to make it that way. You're trying to make it into it. And then people now look at you like, well, this person is literally an idiot, so I can't take that person's word anyways. It lessens the validity of your argument.
Absolutely. And then lastly, Black Adam. I don't know if we talked about this much, but I've been doing a lot of reading on Black Adam as a character himself, and he is an anti-hero. But he does a lot of fucking up of the Justice League heroes too, and a lot of people in the comics, he just goes and fucks them up with his OP in power. Only person that really beats him often is Shazam. But basically, Pierce Brosnan, he's gonna be playing Dr. Fate in there. Hawkman is gonna be black.
Yeah, he's gonna be what you call it? He's gonna be Ren, MC Ren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember from NWA?
Oh
The
yeah,
guy who
yeah,
played
yeah,
the
yeah. He
guy who
plays
played
hella
MC
shit.
Ren.
Yeah. And then I forgot what other characters are actually going to be in it. There was like 3 or 4 characters, like side characters, are
Yeah,
going to be in it with him.
I'm not too
Um,
familiar with DC characters, so everybody knows Hawkman and Doctor Fate, but other than him and the what you call it, the one that Rock's playing, I don't know any of the other characters. I'm not really
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Even with Peacemaker, but like Suicide Squad, I didn't know most of those characters on there.
Yeah. Have you got watched Peacemaker though?
Yeah, Peacemaker was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that shit
I
really
like
funny.
the ending. That shit was funny.
Yeah, she was dope. For sure, hella funny. Fucking
But you
Vigilante
know
was
what's
an
funny
idiot.
though? You know what's funny how when they brought why didn't they have Batman and Cyborg?
Oh yeah, at the end when they had the cameo of the Justice League.
But they purposely kept those two out.
Yeah,
But I heard originally they were supposed to be in it, but for some reason the studio told them to take them out, and they didn't. I don't know why. I think it's because they're recasting both of them.
and the other 2 have movies coming out soon as
Who?
well. Flash and Aquaman.
That's true.
Yeah,
But I'm saying like just to show this Justice League like and take those out purposely because they're supposed to be in it originally. I mean, there's a reason why. I know that they had some issues with the guy who played War Machine was coming out saying that the directors were racist or something or some shit. I forgot there. He was saying had some allegations about them, so he probably lost that role because of that. So yeah. Fucked up. That's why you don't fuck around in the acting business because you can easily be vetoed for your opinion or just being an asshole. I was watching something where not reading something and it was actually about the lady who played Viv before they changed to light skinned lady and that girl from the movie Knocked Up. And I guess like because of those movies or that show in those movies, they got labeled as difficult actresses. So people didn't want to work with them anymore. And they were saying how that pretty much just destroyed their whole career. And it was like they're blaming the producers or whoever called them a difficult person to work with as the issue instead of taking accountability for the fact that they were just difficult to work with.
Right.
Like their argument is that you don't know how detrimental this was to our career, and it was like, will be easier to work with.
Right.
You know, that's like don't be a pushover, but clearly, if everybody on the set was like, yeah, you were an issue, then you probably was an issue. So,
yeah, it's not everybody working against you. Yeah, I feel that, but I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I got Black Adam. I got a bunch of characters I'm ready to whoop y'all with in anime Kumite. So I'm not gonna talk too much about what I got on Black Adam, but if y'all want bring some of those OP anime characters out. I got some shit for y'all. But I guess we to the end of the episode where I like to let them know where they can find you at, and we can talk about what's coming. Oh yeah, boxing. Let's get this boxing.
We can talk about it next time. I mean, the only one of them was just Kell Brook and Kell Brook and Amir Khan, who are both UK boxers. They're really popular in UK. They've both been like ran through their career already and have had like high levels and have also been beaten by all the best, but they're still like top level fighters. But in UK, they're like 2 of the most popular fighters. They've been talking about fighting for years, but for years they've been saying that Amir Khan has like been ducking the fight. So they finally fought after they both have pretty much been beat by all the American fighters. They fought each other, and Amir Khan got beat by Kell Brook, which I thought was gonna happen anyways. I think Amir Khan is a better boxer, but he doesn't have that much power. And he has a really weak chin, and Kell Brook has more power and is a pretty good boxer too, so he can hold up with that. But he also has more power than him, but he has a better chin. He doesn't have a better eye because he's been knocked out twice because his eye sockets got broke. So yeah, but his jaw, he never got knocked out in the jaw, so his jaw's good. But Amir Khan had a glass jaw, and it ended up coming up in the fight, so he ended up getting stopped. But all in all, it was a decent fight. I thought that Kell Brook dominated. It was a good fight. And then they also have another fight coming up that we heard that it just got approved, and that was with 2 fighters. I don't know if everybody knows, but they're one of them is a prospect that's coming up that's getting real popular named David Benavidez. He was actually a pretty young boxer, but he's been beating everybody. Canelo's ducking him, which says a lot about him. And then the other guy he's fighting is this guy named Demetrius Andres from Rhode Island, I think, who's a black fighter who Canelo's also ducking. There's another fighter that literally Canelo's been ducking. Like, I know fans are probably like, he's not ducking him, but if you look at the history of it, these 2 people have been calling him out forever, and he has every excuse in the book why not to fight them.
And he signed just like 2 contracts for like a 3-fight contract for like 80 mil. So he ain't got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does. He'll say like with Demetrius Andres, he will say you ain't fought nobody. Who have you fought? And it was like, well, your last couple fighters that you fought hadn't fought anybody. They actually had less of a resume than them people. But so your argument is invalid if you're fighting people who have no resume, but saying that you won't fight them because they don't have a resume. When in reality, it's just because they're dangerous fighters and they could fuck up your career that you're trying to set this mostly undefeated.
Is he the same way as one of the Charlo brothers?
Yeah, he's been ducking the Charlo brothers too.
But I think he signed one of the. I think he's gonna fight one.
Well, the thing is, I think with Charlo, he actually could beat one of them. I think he could beat them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Charlo are good, but I've seen like too many gaps in their games. I think that he could actually beat them. But at the same time, I can also see one of them beating him because they're good enough. Somebody like Benavidez, I think, has a way better chance of beating him, just because his style and his stature. And Demetrius Andres, those are the type of styles of that he doesn't like. Ever since he fought Mayweather, he doesn't like certain styles of fighting. And Demetrius Andres, it doesn't have a Mayweather style of fighting, but he has more of a slick style of fighting. And David Benavidez, who is Mexican, that's another thing he said. He said he don't want to fight Mexican fighters. David Benavidez is like, fuck that noise. I'm trying to set a legacy. I want to fight the best people. I don't care if I get beat or not. I just want to fight the best. And so he was mad. That's why he's fighting Demetrius Andres, because he's like, well, we both been trying to go after Canelo, and he clearly don't want to fight us. So we both considered the boogeyman in our division. So why don't we fight each other? Which makes sense. That's the best way. That's how it used to be, and that's why it gave me more respect for him. And I'm looking forward to that. And apparently, they said that I don't know if it's complete. If the contracts have been signed, but it's real close to being complete. So that'd be a great fight when it happens.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be hella dope.
You should definitely look up both of those fighters. They're both really good fighters.
You guys send them to me after this is done, and I will do that research there. And also, 2 weeks ago, Robert Whittaker, Izzy Adesanya 2 happened. Izzy won in decision. Not much happened. The first couple of rounds, Izzy was kind of like taking it to him with the striking. Robert Whittaker wasn't using his right hand at all. I don't know. Pretty much, they didn't. He didn't really try to take him down. And Izzy's defense is so good that he was able to. Even if he did take him down for a second, he got back to his feet hella fast. And Izzy's kind of unorthodox with his striking and kicking and shit like that. So Robert Whittaker couldn't do much at all anyways. But he got some hits in, a couple of uppercuts in. But I don't know if there's gonna be a Whittaker Adesanya 3. At this point, I think Adesanya needs to get his rematch at the light heavyweight. And just see what he can do there. You don't think so?
No, there's this one fighter that's been coming through. He was, I think it was like right before COVID hit. He came in and won a couple of fights in UFC and was just demolishing the people he was fighting. He was some dude from Kazakhstan or some shit from over there. Like name is Cosmat or some shit. I forgot his name.
He worked out and shit with what's his name?
With DC?
No. What's his name? With the dude that fucking beat McGregor and pretty much retired. The wrestler fucking
I forgot his name, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know, maybe he did. I remember I know that he got COVID and was like contemplating quitting MMA, and Dana White came out and was like, he's just upset because after he got COVID, he tried to work out too early and was super weak and was upset with himself because he thought that he had lost all his power. And it was just because COVID makes him weak. So now he's over that shit. He's calling out Izzy, and that'll be a fight to see because he's like Izzy is more of a keep my distance and like outbox you damn near in a fight. I'll strike you, and that dude right there is like a magnet to you. He's like a wrestler,
super wrestler.
Super wrestler, and he's actually I always say like that preparation beats talent, but he's a better example of talent that has good prep. So that's he's one of those guys that right now I haven't seen him fighting since after COVID, but before COVID he was looked at like I looked at him like I looked at Khabib. Like,
that's his name. There you go.
Yeah,
that's real. Khabib.
He was training with Khabib.
I think so. I remember this guy you're talking about because he has a super Russian ass last name like that too, and doesn't he have like the beard too? He has like a beard.
I don't remember if he has a beard. I know he has like a bald head or a balding head or something like that.
Yeah, I think I know you're talking about.
He's pretty much like everybody he's got in the ring with. He's pretty much toyed with them like they weren't a fighter.
I think I've seen a fight. I've seen one of those fights before. But yeah, that's
The funny thing is, he was saying that he wasn't even trained before M fighting. He was just went and rode one of his friends who was training MMA, and that guy was like, "Dude, you need to get in MMA." And he did. He did. Now I think he's only been doing it for a couple years.
I feel that. Damn, and he's just
Yeah.
killing people. I feel that. But yeah, man, UFC's been killing it. Boxing every freaking Saturday. UFC almost has an event like every week. So there's a lot of combat sports out there. You know, we got to get that in for the Best of Bias listeners, for everybody that be watching and supporting the combat sports as well. But now I guess we're at the point where we like to let them know where they can find you at. Where do you know, what's up? What's good, AKA? Let them know.
AKA Young.
Kill Young.
And oh yeah, Kill Young. God damn it, did it again, didn't I? And if you go on, like, I think all streaming platforms and look up Pretty Ugly, that's PRETTY UGLI, not a Y. Yeah, I have to remember where the I went. I know he had an I in there. So if you put that all together in one word, it'll come up with my brother's music, and we got an album we put out called Said and Done. So
yeah. For sure. And if you follow him as well, he posts it on his story a lot. So you'll hear a lot of the previews of the music and where you can find it and stuff like that. I'm on one of the tracks on there as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and download that wherever you find your music. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out. You know where to find me, SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. The podcast, bestofbias.com for the website, Best of Bias for the Instagram, and Best of Bias for the for the YouTube. Video coming soon, of course. We're recording this on the special day, Tuesday. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So it's a special day today. So, you know, also my little cousin was just born. I don't know if he was born yet, but my mom rushed out the house because my aunt went into labor. So prayers up to Aisha. Hope everything's going well. There should be another addition to the family after this podcast comes out. So if you're looking for all the episodes video form, you can find those on YouTube. Leave a comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. So when all these podcasts drop on the YouTube, you'll get them right to your phone. You get a little notification knowing that the Best of Bias is out and you're ready to listen. Also, you can find the podcast anywhere you find your podcasts, your favorite podcast, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. We got Google Play, and we got Spotify, of course. No bias. Wherever you want to go to get the podcast, go there and get it. The patches come this week, so I will have new hats and new merchandise by, I say, probably next week. Definitely by the end of this month here. So new merch on the way. You know, I got the hat on right now to match this Carmelo Anthony jersey. You know what I'm saying? I got the blue Best of Bias, you know, lid on. We got bucket hats, beanies, dad hats, and truckers, of course. Hit me up for inquiries in the DM. We should have a Shopify website up pretty soon. I'm working on that now, so we don't have to deal with the DMs and stuff. We can just get it sent to you, shipped to you at quality prices. But yeah, anything else you want to holler at them about before we get up out of here, AKA?
Nah.
Stay black. Stay black, stay blessed. Happy Black History Month. Anime Kumite is coming soon. We're trying to get weekly anime kumites in there, man. So stay tuned for the next battle. New updates coming soon. Plenty of promos will be dropped this week. I'm probably gonna, get some.
Did Deshaun, my bad. Did Deshaun ever hit you back about that anime kumite? Did he say that
he
he's down
did.
with the third versus Yoda? Because I know he was saying that Yoda would lose to the third, and I don't think he knows who the fuck Yoda is, but
right. And that's why I'm saying, and he's also afraid to let you have Yoda, so he might want to have to go with Yoda, and you have to do the third Hokage.
Oh, I thought he was saying the third would kill Yoda.
No.
The third, huh?
He probably did say that, but he's also said that he doesn't want to have to go against your knowledge of Yoda. Not to spill any of the beans that he said, but we'll see what's going on. Tomorrow during the day, we'll broach some more battles, and we'll just see. We'll send like a total of 3 or 4, and we can just agree on one. But we're trying to get it in here weekly so we can have 2 episodes for y'all. Maybe drop one Friday and one during the weekend for some anime kumite for y'all to listen to. So either way, it's the Best of Bias podcast, and we made it to the end. We back. I'm telling you, ain't gonna be no more gaps like that unless a cool another holiday come out, and I have to go take another trip somewhere fun. But other than that, we back. Friday, this should be out. And if we got any special announcements, we'll let you know throughout the week, man. And it's the Best of Bias podcast. Anything else?
Nah.
We out of here with my theme song. Yes, you know what I'm saying. It's Black History Month, so I'm going to do this in a smooth way. It's right here. I don't know if that was smooth, but you know what I was trying to do. Later, y'all.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias.